Good morning. I am now coming to the last part of our specialized skill. After this, in the next course of lectures, I will discuss about the communication skills. Once we complete all these skills together, then you will find your soft skills are so many that it enriches you if you can imbibe all those positives. Okay. So, last set of specialized skills. Technology trend awareness. I said technology savvy, that means you can do things. Aware of the technological change, the technology trend, how fast something is becoming obsolete, the process is becoming obsolete, the gadget is becoming obsolete, the computer system is becoming obsolete, means you are now keeping track of the trend. You may not be yourself technology savvy, you may not be able to handle computers and other things or other technology, but at least you are aware that technology is changing. This technology trend awareness is again a kind of skill set which is very specialized, for which what you need to do is again keep track of all the publications, latest publications on the technological advancements. In the whole world, there are multiple technologies are being developed. My suggestion is you don't just to become technology trend aware person, you don't have to find out all technologies. You only focus on the technologies which are affecting or benefiting your operations, your business, your profession and your education. Just take note of those technologies and then try to find out all information about those technologies as much as possible. Okay? Be aware of it. There are several journals which comes weekly or fortnightly or sometime monthly, which gives you all the version changes, like the improvement of the versions, whether it's a gadget or whether it's a system, whether it's an operating system or whether there is add-ons or whether there are plugins. That means you should be very aware of how it is changing, because after 2 years then you learn that the software that you are using, you are not aware that the version got changed twice in between, and there are lots of improvements that has happened in the same system which you have not done or learnt about it. So, you are slightly backdated, and this is where you might likely to lose certain opportunities, because the clients also want you to be very much technology trend aware. Now, look at the other side. The client also has to be technology trend aware to understand that you are technologically backward or up to date. Here the situation is, it depends that friends who are listening to me, in which position you are sitting. If you are sitting on the receiver side as a client, then in that case at least be aware of the technological trend so that nobody can fool you. Nobody can promise you something which is not happening. But now, if you are a deliverer side or service side, in such cases you must demonstrate by informing people that this is a technology trend now and you are aware of it. You can go one extra step, that is, if you find that your client is not technology trend aware and you are, then just to win the heart of that client, you add that knowledge to him. In case, suppose you find that the company whom you are working with, now they are aware only up to the certain versions. Basically, this technology trend awareness is developed not by you, by the journals, by the publications, even by the manufacturers. You know what the manufacturers they do is, they send their salespersons or sales booklets or manuals to all these companies who are a potential user of that particular technology, and then keep on informing them about the advancement in the technology. And if the client takes that very positively and keeps on updating, is fine, but quite often you will find that they get that and don't pay attention to it, and they stick to the older technology. With older technology he might be doing his business well, but the new advancement, new versions which probably would help them in reducing time, increasing speed of work and getting more benefits of the products. out of the products in their business. So, if you find that the client is not really technology trained aware, then in that case, if you are aware, then to win the heart of the client, you try to give one extra support to him by making him aware, which the producers or the manufacturers did not do in case. Then you make them aware and tell them, sir, this is the latest version which is available in the market. Maybe either you are not aware or your company's policy does not allow you to quickly update it, but you should then tell him that what is the benefit of using this latest version, so that they become more strong in their works, and then finally you become a friend. Okay? So, your personal technology trend awareness as a deliverer is important, at the same time as a business giver is equally important. Time management. My last week will be totally dedicated on this, totally. I hinted on this earlier in some way or the other. Time is one of the biggest asset that we have. There's a saying that God has given every individual at least one thing in equal amount, that is time. Every individual has got the same amount 24 hours a day. Every individual. Don't try to judge them with their socio-cultural, socio-economical status. Everybody has 24 hours in their stock. It's only how do they use it. It is considered that 24 hours that has been given by God to you is a purse full of 24 hours. Within that 24 hours, somebody creates excellent things, and there are many who are wasting this time. So, when I'll discuss about this time management as a last week's discussion, I'll go into many aspects of it, and I'll give you certain clues how to manage your time. I can also tell you at this stage that I am not a very good manager of my time, because everything is right when we say how to manage your time, but sometimes situations, contexts might not allow you to manage your time well. That doesn't matter. I cannot write well does not mean that I should not know how to write well. I cannot speak well, that does not mean how I should not know or learn how to speak well. Okay, I am sure that if you learn it and then you try to apply it, then if you cannot manage your time very successfully, then maybe a little better improvement will happen to you. This is what I am going to discuss on this time management time. Okay, tracking. Tracking is a specialized skill which comes from many other sources, like tracking business, tracking opportunities, tracking qualification sources, tracking clients, tracking talents. Thinking about business, the tracking is like whatever you want to reach that particular point to know more about it. This is what is tracking. And in this tracking, you just don't break the thread. Don't break it. You try to understand. You try to follow it through. If you cannot do it yourself, then allow somebody else to continue with it. But tracking is very, very, very important skill. There are many who are intrinsically very powerful, very strong, and likes to do his work as assigned, does it very nice. But there may be in the team one person who is specialist in tracking, and he keeps on tracking. Earlier days, when there were no network facilities, at that time, there used to be one person appointed by a company who used to track all opportunities. So, his job was every day in the morning, he will be supplied with 10-12 published newspapers, which is likely to have different advertisements, tender notifications. His job was to identify this week or within this date, what are the tenders which are applicable to them and where they should participate. This is tracking. He is assigned not to read the newspapers. 10 newspapers he has to read. Maybe the whole day he is just going to shortlist out of this that he will not read any other newspapers. He will only take only the tender notifications or the job notifications or the EOI notifications. He is going to make a short list of that, and then he is going to check which one is the earliest he has to address or the company has to address. He supplies that information to another person, and he takes it up and then scrutinizes that and finds out how good the company themselves are fit for this. Okay? And then he works out the approach by which this has to be responded. Then he gives it to another team member who works out how to arrange all the CVs, all the portfolios of the company, and then everything is being given. The person who brought out the entire thing shortlisted first, he is also kept in the loop. Till the end, who prepares a brochure for sending the EOI. There will be a person who is typing it maybe again. Nowadays it's all digital, you take a copy. Earlier it has to be retyped, reprinted, a brochure printed. Then when this is printed, then it is posted. When it reaches the authorities where it is supposed to go, then the trackers of your company tracks, has it reached, whom it has reached, where is it lying now, has it reached the right department, what is the reaction of the people who got this EOI or tender papers, okay, or which is the date they have declared, when are they going to have a tender opening time, everything has to be tracked. And not only that, you have to also track sitting over there in the tender opening time that who is the lowest or who is the highest or all that, who is technically most qualified. So you have to track every aspects of it. Everybody cannot do that. It's a very specialized skill. So tracking, I'll tell you, is very, very important. We say that if you have a skill, I don't want to draw really a big differences between this skill and the marketing. At least if you have 50% marketing and 50% skill, your business is going to shine like anything. But if you have 80% skill and 20% marketing, then you are not going to do good business. Or if it is 20% skill and 80% marketing, you are not going to do business. Because the situation is that you have to almost balance this. So in the marketing, the tracking is going to come. And in the technological or your technical skills, it is your competence is going to make the quality output of it. Okay. Training, how you train people. I said that not everybody can be a good trainer. I've said repeatedly, having good knowledge and having good training skill, these two are two different things. But one thing is very sure, if you don't have the knowledge, you cannot train. But if you have knowledge, you can also train. So it is not true that trainer can train without knowledge. But at the same time, I would say that if you have knowledge, you did not necessarily have a good training skill. So what is important is that, okay, knowledge and the training, how do you mix up together? It is why there are some teachers, somebody who is appointed as teachers, that means he has a knowledge. So teachers are never selected based on lack of knowledge. Teachers are selected or trainers are selected based on their knowledge, and that knowledge which is very specific to the purpose. And training is not like taking classes. Training is giving some insights, inputs, cases to the persons who are attending your workshop or your training courses. Okay, so you have to be very specific within it. So it's a specialized skill. You ask any knowledgeable person that you please give training. Some people I have heard that when I've invited some people, they say I'm not a very good speaker. I can work. I have worked in the profession. I have created good buildings and good projects. But the thing is, I am not a very good speaker. So don't please invite me as a speaker for training others how to design. You ask me, I'll tell you how it is to be done. But the moment I see more than one, I become perplexed. I become nervous. So the thing is, this is a specialized skill. Not everybody is born with it. Training is also taught, can be taught. Train the trainer is all the more difficult. Training is a skill. As I said, it can be taught. So there has to be a trainer who can train the other trainers. That means you have a set of knowledge and you are creating a body of a group of experts who are now, knowledgeable about your knowledge because you are now disseminating it and transferring it to them. And then they become enriched with the training skills and then they train. It is therefore, as we do have lots of training courses, you will find there are lots of courses which are called TOT, training of trainers, train the trainers. Some people say TTT, train the trainers. So training is a skill in which a knowledge, specific to certain purpose, certain objective is disseminated to others. That is training. And train the trainer is disseminating to another set of people for creating them as a trainer. This is what it is. Now, few things which are coming now are very sensitive one. Verbal reporting. My suggestion is, if you are doing something, then at least verbally report to your authorities or to your superior. Verbal reporting is what? By protocol, if you have taken an action, then you are supposed to report back to your organization that what is the outcome of your visit or actions. You have to write. Fine. That goes into the records, in the books. But the thing is, it is very important that before you shoot a mail telling your chairman that you had met a company executive, other company executive trying to look for this particular business, and there had been some positive responses, so our company should take it forward. You can always write this in a mail. But it's always better if you can verbally first inform. Because if you verbally inform in the process, then what happens is you get more suggestions. And it does not become very official. So verbal response is very important. I know one case. This let me share with you. There was an executive who was trying to get projects. Okay? He worked the whole day to get a lead and to establish a contact with one prospective client. At about 3 o'clock, he gets a call for an appointment at 4 o'clock. You think about the timing, 9 to 5 is your office. At 4 o'clock, he goes to that particular office, and by the time he finishes his meeting, it goes to 6 o'clock. His own office is almost closed. All his colleagues have left for home. He finishes a discussion and gets some positive response and comes back to the office, and he finds that his boss is sitting there and nobody else. What he does is, what he could have done is, he could have left the office either from there or returning to the office and then go back home, and the next day he could have reported formally to the boss. What he did is, instead, it was 6 o'clock or a little more, he entered the boss's room and then he explained what did he do for the entire day. And now it is almost 6. What did he do? He verbally reported the whole approach. He said, I found a lead, and then by 3 o'clock I found a contact and there is an appointment at 4 o'clock. I went there, I waited for half an hour, though it was 4 o'clock, but the meeting started at 4:30, and then it was only for 15 minutes, but I discussed with the officer for about 1.5 hours, and then by 1 hour, and by then we have come to these kind of conclusions, which is very positive for our company. We might get the business. He informed the whole thing verbally to the boss. Now, what is boss's reaction to the whole situation? Boss is thinking, this gentleman whose office got closed at 5 o'clock, even if he knew that at 3 o'clock he got a call for appointment at 4 o'clock, he knew that if he goes there it will be crossing 5. He never bothered for that personal benefits or comfort. He took the opportunity, he went there, and he waited there for half an hour. And then the meeting, which was supposed to have 15 minutes, he talked with the prospective client for 1 hour, trying to develop a business between our company and that company. This gentleman did it, and he came back here. He could have gone home from there, but he came back here, and now he is reporting it to me. It gives a very positive reaction to the boss. Boss thinks this person, he makes additional efforts to contact some client, number one. Number two is, he never bothers about his own comfort. Number three is, he doesn't bother about even like say whether he will be delayed beyond 6 or 7 or 8. He is thinking only about the company and his prospective business. Very positive. Okay. Next is, he came back, and since he saw me, he is also reporting me, so that he is keeping me 1 day advanced informed. I would have learned the whole thing tomorrow, but he kept me informed today. That means I am 1 day advanced in terms of information. So I also have a time to think about how to go forward further taking a link from him or clue from him or lead from him. So when he takes it, the boss thinks that, okay, this gentleman is a very potential person. He's a very innovative person. He is thinking about the company and he is thinking about the company's benefit and he is keeping me informed. So he is not hiding facts. Quite often bosses are very skeptic that if in any progress in terms of business opportunities are made by some subordinates, they try to keep it under wraps so that they can take the benefit of this and they can they can compromise this with their benefits of promotions. Keeping the bosses in not in confidence and keeps on going, and only at the last moment he breaks the news and takes the whole credit. But this gentleman didn't try. This gentleman, he tried to keep me informed about it before, and tomorrow maybe I'll think tonight, and he's also thinking tonight that how to go forward, and by tomorrow we'll make our game plan how to approach the client with all our materials and contents to impress them and get the project as fast as possible. What is the final outcome? This is verbal reporting. Next day he will be probably writing a mail or writing a letter or writing a note seeking permission to go forward, etc., etc. But what is the final result? The final result is this person who did this, he got a promotion faster than his colleagues, earlier than the colleagues, and the company considered him to be one of the very potential persons. So finally at the end, maybe at the very later end of his career, he became the partner of this company. So verbal reporting, never ignore. Never think that verbal reporting in terms of government documents. In government documents, verbal reporting has no meaning. Everything that is written has meaning, and verbal reporting is not to be trusted as an evidence of anything. But in corporates, in private, in personal businesses, in small to big businesses, verbal reporting is very, very helpful thing. Okay. Another is visual reporting. Interesting. This is a very funny thing which I'll share with you. See, all these cases which I'm citing, all these I have heard, or I have practiced, or I have got the benefit, or I have heard others saying and they got the benefits and all. That's why I'm reporting this to you. Visual reporting. One person, take the case. There are two persons, two colleagues who are competing with each other, but the thing is, it's not a bad competition. Both are at the same level, both are doing their jobs. Out of these two, one person, their office starts at 9 o'clock and closes at 5. One person, he comes to the office at 8:15 to 8:30, and then he goes out after 5:30. One person. The other person, he is very time bound. He comes to the office exactly at 9 and goes out exactly at 5. Who is better? The person who is coming exactly at 9 and goes out exactly at 5, nothing wrong, everything is good. The person who comes 45 minutes before or goes half an hour later, we might consider that he is better. Actually, when I heard about the facts, I really burst into laughter. The person who I asked, why do you come to the office at 8:15? He says, I can't do anything because I have to drop my child at the school at 8 o'clock. And if I have to drop my child at the school at 8 o'clock by car, and then after that, why should I go back home? I rather come here and relax. That's why he comes at 8:15. And incidentally, the boss comes to the office almost as 8:20, 8:25. So when the boss comes in first in the office, he finds one of the colleagues, a junior colleague, he's sitting there since early, before him. So he thinks he is more serious. Okay. Now see the other part of it. The same boss is watching the other person's entry, and he finds at 9 o'clock sharp, this person enters. He looks at his watch and he thinks, oh, this man is so time specific that he comes at 9. He cannot even think of coming before. But he is right. The other person is right, 9 o'clock. Now look at the exiting time. When I asked the other person that, why do you stay for another half an hour to 45 minutes? He said, I can't do anything. I have to pick up my wife from a place every time, which is about 45 minutes after my 5 o'clock closure. So why should I go home and then again go to that place and pick up my wife? So I stay in the office. It's a good environment I have here. I read my books or journals and chat with friends, and then 45 minutes I spend, and then I go out and pick up my wife. Boss thinks the other person who is leaving at 5, he is very time bound. So he is leaving at 5 o'clock. And this gentleman, he spends 45 minutes extra in the office. Now boss's mind you read. The number one person who is coming 45 minutes before and going 45 minutes after, boss thinks 9 to 5 plus 1.5 hours extra this man is serving. Actually he is not. He is not serving. Very interesting. He is not serving that extra 1.5 hour. That extra 1.5 hours, either he is chatting with his friends or he is reading some books or journals or magazines or whatever. He starts his work exactly at 9 o'clock and finishes work exactly at 5 o'clock. Then he again relaxes. But in the boss's mind, his time dispensed is 9 to 5 plus 1.5 hours. And the other person who does all his job and comes exactly at 9 o'clock and does his job 9 to 5 very, very diligently, boss thinks he is very critical about his 9 to 5. So in case of promotion, what happens is the other person who spent extra hour in the office, not for the benefit of the office, but he got the promotion. This is very, very funny, and this is very realistic minded. So the point is, this is what is visual reporting. What the earlier number one person did is, he visually reported to the boss that he is here early, and also he is going to go late. He is going late. And the other person visually reporting that he is very time specific, 9 to 5. Very interesting, but I'll tell you very tricky. I have a note of suggestion in this. While visual reporting, you don't have to really make false information. You don't have to give him a false impression that you are working extra. But here I'm strongly recommending, if you are coming half an hour before or 45 minutes before in the office and you start working, then at least make sure that your boss sees that you are working. Not boss sees that you have come in. Boss also should see that you are working. You don't have to go and tell him, look, I am 45 minutes early. No, don't have to say that. But be on your table, keep on working. The boss is moving around. He will watch you. He will see that, okay, it's now 8:30. This gentleman is already working. It's visual reporting. You visually reported. If you are going somewhere for any meeting and appointment, always make sure that you are going to inform your superior or the boss. Appointment has been fixed by your receptionist maybe, or the secretaries maybe, but definitely make it sure that your boss or the superiors, they know. If not, at least the colleagues know where you are going. Because if you don't say that, you simply quietly go out with the intention of not disturbing others, then everybody thinks that you are sneezing out. You are just you are slipping out of the office, you are just leaving. Don't do that. So verbal reporting and visual reporting, these two are a very strong game plan which you have to practice and use it as your specialized skill. But be very careful about it. If you are giving any false information or false impression through your verbal and visual reporting, that can become dangerously counterproductive. But however, in both the cases what I have cited over here, the first one I cited is very important. It is something like, I say that if you are honest, you are bound to be honest. If you are honest, demonstrate you are honest. You are rightful, you are bound to be rightful, then demonstrate that you are right. You are knowledgeable, you have earned the knowledge, then demonstrate that you are knowledgeable. Don't keep quiet, don't hide it, don't think that it's an extra demonstration of your activities. No, very subtly you can do that. So the case I said for verbal reporting, if you are working extra, then verbally report at least to the person, to your boss, that you are working extra. And to ensure, there are many ways of doing it. Suppose you have an appointment somewhere and you have gone there and you have been assigned about 1 hour of job there. But by virtue of the situation, the boss is not available in the office, or maybe he is busy in a meeting, you are not getting an opportunity to meet him exactly when the appointment is, you have to wait for 1 more hour. In such cases, my first suggestion is report to your office, saying that I had an appointment at 4 o'clock. The person who I am supposed to meet, either he is not in the office or you say that he is busy in a meeting, and I have been requested to wait for it, so I am waiting. Report it, because if you report it, then your extra work that you are doing or extra time that you are spending is automatically being recorded as your duty and the job performed. Or else, if you have an appointment at 4 o'clock and the person whom you want to meet, he met you at 6 o'clock, and then you went home, you did not return at 5 o'clock, then the company or your colleagues or your boss will think that you have taken the advantage of external meeting. You left the office at 4 o'clock for a meeting at 4 o'clock, and within 15 minutes or half an hour the meeting was over. So, you saved your half an hour time for your own personal benefit. So, you took the advantage of this and gone home. Don't do that. Report it. So, use your telephone every time to report what you are doing when you are out of the office by verbal reporting, and use your gestures, movements when you are inside the office through visual reporting. I hope you understand these two things very, very categorically. It's not a trick, it's not a game, or it's not a cunningness that you are doing. It's only you are making situations comfortable, which I am sure that if you really do it very rightfully, you will get the benefit of it. Most often it is reflected in your either increments or promotions. The last one in this specialized skill is writing reports and proposals. Agree or not, there are many courses which are being taught in leading institutions in how to write reports and how to write proposals. People are being trained, educated people, experienced bureaucrats, experienced officers, experienced researchers. They also need to be taught how to write reports and how to write proposals. This has nothing to do with your knowledge in general, because knowledge, everybody is selected or appointed based on their background knowledge. That's checked already, scrutinized and checked. Okay? But give any expert to write a proposal, you will find that he doesn't know how to write a proposal. Writing a proposal is a very strong methods by which you have to do it. It is something like, writing writing a proposal is something like not producing about 7-8 pages of documents. Sometimes the proposal may be about 50 pages. It is not 50 pages rubbish. No. Writing proposals is the points that you are highlighting here or mentioning here, which are very pertinent to the purpose of the proposal. So, when we find RFPs, request for proposals, then we really find out many people who are knowledgeable and experienced but cannot write proposals. So, writing RFP, responding to RFP means request for proposals. In such cases, you also have to have good skill in writing proposals. This is also a specialized skill. Sometime in a company, 2-3 persons are identified by virtue of their past demonstrations that who are very strong in this writing proposals, and they are always given that opportunity. The rest of the other experts are requested to support them with supplying information, facts and figures, and also guidance. But writing, finally the proposal is left to 2-3 persons who are specialists in it. Similar is for the reports. See, proposals is for something which you are thinking about it, and reports is something which you are now reporting based on its progress. Okay? And writing reports is also very, very important, important issues. We say technical writing. All the engineers, all the doctors, all the technical persons, they may be highly knowledgeable, but when you ask them to write a report, you will find that there are lots of technical errors. And in these writing reports and proposals, there are certain, formatting system, the size of the fonts, header, subheader, body text, the fonts, its color, its bold or italics, the syntaxes, everything is important. The page composition, composition of the text and the pictures, numbering the pictures, numbering the tables. There are many, many such techniques which are taught. That means it is a course that you learn how to write reports, but ultimately when you sit down to write the reports, taught by the same teacher, 40 students, the same subject, now you judge the reports written by all 40 persons, you will find there is a hell of a difference. because if everybody has followed very methodically, then the discrepancies will be minimal. But the thing is, writing reports and writing proposals is a specialized skill which people should have. Okay, here, up to this point, I have discussed about all those other skills except the communication skill. In my next week, I'll discuss about the communication skills and I'll take you through some demonstrations. That demonstrations, I will do it here itself, it can be done. And I'm separating this communication skill to club it with verbal communications and non-verbal communications. That's why I've shifted this to the next week. So far, whatever you have discussed, my suggestion is, friends, you go through all these points individually. Listen to me repeatedly if you want. And wherever you agree, you try to identify whether you are weak or strong. And then if you are weak, try to improve. If you are strong, you make it stronger. Okay? And the whole set of soft skills, if you keep on imbibing one after another, and at one point of time when you look back, look at yourself, then you will find that you have become a very strong personality. Not necessarily for business and marketing, but for everything. A strong individual personality. Okay? Many of these are not your cup of tea. Because see, penetrating may not be your cup of tea. You have so much of self-respect or respect to your own dignity that you don't want to penetrate with a fear that somebody may turn you out, push you out, throw you out. Not everybody can go for sales and marketing because people are afraid or reluctant to take refusals. And in the sales and marketing, it is said that if you are refused 10 times, face it. Not everybody can do that. That's why I'm saying many of these may not be your cup of tea. But I'm sure that if you look at it, if you analyze it and try to imbibe it, then definitely you'll be reaching a good personality level. So emulating, looking at others performing all these soft skills individually maybe. The moment you see somebody has done it very nicely, you emulate it. But one note of cautioning, never overdo. Never overdo. Overdoing, showing a demonstration of emulating this is going to put you in a wrong situation. Note of cautioning here. There are some people who are very good at humor and they can always link a joke which he has heard or a proverb which he has learned with the situation. Suppose you are in a group and there is one person who is very good in cutting jokes and he cuts the jokes, exactly the right jokes in the right time, in the context, and everybody enjoys. And you think this is what I am going to emulate. And now you start learning jokes. And then you are in another company. And then in another context, suddenly you pick up, retrieve a joke and then you cut. And it's a very, very silly joke. You cut a very sorry figure. Don't do that. That's what my point is. Try to imbibe it, but don't overdo. Always try to analyze very critically about yourself, because end of it, your self-respect and your self-dignity should not be at all hurt when you are trying to exercise all these skills in reality in the field. Is that okay? So far, if you have any questions, any queries, any further things to learn, then please feel free to contact me in the addresses that I have given. And my email ID is ukb@arp.iitkgp.earnet.in. In one of the lectures I have already given, and my phone number is 9434005812. Please feel free to communicate so that I know that what I have tried to share with you, whether it has reached the right minds. Okay? Thank you very much. Wait for the next week.